It is pointless to resist.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 264, being recorded on June 19th, 2024. I'm your host, Dark Moocher. I've got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
Grand Admiral Franz is with us.
Hi.
And Bootleg Joe. What?
What up, fools?
We'll see if the Fallen Fett joins us, of course, when he comes in, barging in, interrupting our show at about a half an hour. That'd be kind of cool.
After his 500th follower episode. Well done.
Well, we have
longest running episode ever.
Yeah, where we have to say everything all over again for his benefit. But before we get...
Let's recap it.
Oh, I kid, Ernie. But before we get into all of that, before I kick it over to Scott, everybody in the pit, get your thoughts on today's Acolyte episode in now so we can start marinating this and see where we go from this. But Scott, we have our Shadow Council to shout out and, of course, check in with the pit.
Let's do this. So, hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm sure everybody just loved this week's episode of The Acolyte. Let us know how much
I care.
I care. And I'm really especially interested in knowing how these people thought about it. That's right. AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., Cliff, Commander Cook, Crystal E., Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Luke, a.k.a. Love Collects, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Nicholas Schaefer, Papa Schmitty, Ryan and the Star Joes podcast. So join our Shadow Council. That is our Patreon group. Every dime you donate goes back into the production of this show. And without you, I mean, we really need your help because Joey needs sleeves.
Nah,
Just so you know,
it's almost there.
It's
almost all covered up.
Almost.
Too hot.
Sun's out, guns out, man. No.
Yeah, that's
Too
right.
hot in this room to wear a regular shirt.
Yeah,
You're lucky I'm wearing a shirt.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are very lucky you are wearing a shirt, my friend. And then in the pit, we've got No One Watches RD back. What's up, RD? We've got Dom the Dad Dorn. We've got Obi-Sean Kenobi, Mando Mike, Rhino Hobbies, and Commander Bly. Thinking is first. Don't tell him he's not. So
and Genobi.
Genobi just dropped in.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Genobi. Oh, you know what? I'm glad Genobi's on because I think she's going to be happier today with our reaction.
It's almost going online, right? Yeah, that's I don't know if there's going to be 180s going around today, but Rick Jones
and John.
Welcome, John. What's up?
Is that Force Ghost, John?
No. I don't know. I don't think he has a computer. So. Yeah. Rick Jones. Katie Mundy was frozen in carbonite for 30 years. That explains it.
I'll take it. I'm better now. I'm better because I'm telling you that's 90% of my problem today.
Yeah. All right, guys. All right. So, I mean, just like any other Star Wars day. Oh, we got
Crooked Smile. What's up, man?
What's up, Richard, man? Thanks for checking in. Just like any other Star Wars day, we wake up in the morning and all hell's breaking loose. Fire, flames, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. So episode 4 dropped of the Acolyte. Of course, we're in the Acolyte era now, and everything's going to be talked about the Acolyte. So here we go. We talked ourselves out of last week's, and I thought last week was supposed to be most controversial and divisive show there is until this week, and I'm here to understand why. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to our Grand Admiral Franz first to get his reaction. And
start with me.
Yeah, let's go, Lan. Because
all right, we'll do it this way. Let's see how I'm going to react first. I'm going to open my Oreos. If it's blue, I'll be nice about it. If it's red, if it's red, get to start beeping. We're going to go over my F limit.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Well, he's going to do it anyway.
It's blue.
They're blue.
It's blue.
Throw them away, dude. Don't even eat them. Throw them away.
I won't put that nastiness in me. I'll eat one in a minute. I didn't like it. I was live reacting with you because I got to watch it late last night, right? So I was kind of live reacting in the chat. Some people were probably I was doing it, but I was hot off the bat, dude. I think it looked like TV, like Kenobi. My old complaints about Kenobi, it very much felt like TV on this one. Not with this budget, man. Don't do that shit with this budget.
Fair point.
Yes. The little Jedi scene in that room. God, that felt corny.
In the beginning, the Coruscant
looked really bad, and then you see the Syrian, and I'm like, that can't be Coyote Mundi, right? Because his age don't fit, right? And then we go look it up. I'm like, no, his age don't fit. This is nonsense, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Ernie? Ernie. So I'm already right there. I'm like, this is pulling me out of the show right now because I know this isn't supposed to happen, right? And then I'm like, all right, whatever. And we just keep going through it, and everything looks bad, and it's just not flowing right, and just not getting me my vibe. And I think every actor is bad today, except for Kamir is awesome, and Soul. Both those guys nail it every damn time they're on the screen, right? I love those two. The girl Osha / May is like half the time pretty good, which is kind of fitting. The other half is like golly, right? It's not the same. It's not per character. It's like half the time of each character, right? I keep getting lost in it. It just so many dumb things happen that had no reason. And I think just to get out the way, the Coyote Mundi thing, and so I don't try to harp on. We're going to harp on it later.
No, we'll go deeper into things.
Yeah, but that's the part that's really bugging me the most because it just seemed like an intentional F them to everybody because that was absolutely avoidable. We had talked about that on the show. Who should show up? Who could show up? We've had Plo Koon in our heads because we've seen that slip. And of all, damn, dude, you're going to have Coyote Mundi in it who shouldn't be, and then you're going to have a Keldor in there that's not Plo Koon who should be in it. Now
I mean, because
swap it, make it a Syrian that's not
yeah.
Coyote Monday, and make Plo Koon the one in there. And we're fixed, and this isn't even an issue. Then I'm seeing the episode completely different. I promise you. But right now, I'm to the point where like, no, I defend the show every week. I defend Star Wars all the time. That one and get this. Don't miss the irony on me that we talk, or the whatever coming back at me, that I talk about canon all the time.
Sure.
But that's when you have to move like an era of stuff. Like there's no other explanation for it. Sometimes you have to change things. The era of the Empire, you have to change that. That's not, you know what I mean? You have to move the era. You have to change the players. You have to do all that.
Yeah.
In this one, because there's no other way to do it. In this one, there were other ways to do it that we outlined already, that were very simple ways to do it. Rancisis, Yaddle, Poof, Yoda. They all exist. What's going and Plo Koon. The dumb. That's all. So after that, we can go into the story after that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty upset that the lack of care that they would put into it there. And Filoni Filoni had a hand in it. The writer, I was reading on her Twitter. They asked her about it, and she's like, well, Filoni. They said, did Filoni get in there? He's all, he had final say on the script. He looked over the script.
Yeah, that's something that we all, like, even we said last week, right? We're like, this is something that maybe he was in, that he knew about, but he's doing his own thing,
he's
right?
He's a producer on everything, right? He checks it all. He's story group.
Yeah, even though he's not credited for anything, I'm sure that had something come across the aisle, and in front of his desk and stuff. But
sorry.
Mando Mike's comment about questioning Kathleen Kennedy and Filoni at this point for greenlighting the fiasco. Filoni didn't greenlight anything at this point. Whenever this thing was made, this was prior to him taking a leadership role at Lucasfilm. He was just I don't know what his role exactly was at this point, but this was
probably check everybody, right? The story guy. He was probably the little mini Lucas walking around. Is this going to fit?
Yeah, right. and this is go ahead, Scott.
No, please go for it.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the checks and balances over there, because Filoni's been involved for a long time. When we're sitting here and we're talking about this, when they throw in a Coyote Monday and they throw in this and stuff like that, in the back of my head, and again, I could be completely wrong at the end of this in 4 weeks when it's all ended and nothing changes. I will be the first one on that soapbox to burn it down. I will. You guys know I will. But I just can't understand, like, if that is a thing and they are like I said, checks and balances are there and it still goes through. Okay, then maybe there's a reason. To me personally, I don't think it's a FU to the fandom. I don't think it's like my way or the highway. I think it might be for either a fan service that did not go the way they thought it was going to go, or ignorance to the point where it's like somebody over there messed up really bad and put this in there. And Filoni, like I said, the buck stops at somebody. And if Filoni's the one that should have caught that, I mean, he obviously knows a lot about the lore. He had Plo Koon and all these things. Yeah. Like, but we'll get into like the specifics on Kai. But like I said, I want to throw that in there too. It's like, I get the sentiment, and also it's like me, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's still too early to know these things. I think we have to wait till it's all said and done. If nothing changes in the next 4 weeks on that stuff, then I mean, like, I'll be right there with you guys. I really will. When I say you guys, I haven't gotten everybody else's opinion on it, but like, I will be. I won't be defending that. That's a blatant, like I said, disrespect. Hell yeah, I'll be right there checking that box. I
can make it through the story, dude. We're gonna storyboard this and go through
sure.
craft, and I'll be perfectly fine. But again, that's me now. Now it's in spite of everything. Right.
Yeah.
I was on board. So I can see where it's going. I still kind of can.
Yeah. But it's putting a bad taste in your mouth right away. And it's like snowballed. Dude. Like, because I saw you like in the chat, like snowballing stuff. And I'm like, guys, he's mad at the moth. Like, what the hell's going on? I
wasn't really mad at the moth.
I know.
Why are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
We got things to do. It's already a short episode. We're just throwing this dumb shit in there. It looks like hell. $180 million budget.
Yeah.
And they couldn't let the Wookiee fight. Because it was too much budget.
I saw that.
They didn't see that too.
I saw that tweet too. But we will see the Wookiee fight.
4 episodes in, we've seen a lot of sabers, but not one touch.
Yeah. No, but we will see the Wookiee fight because that is in the trailer still. That hasn't come through. Yeah. But anyway, I'll go through. Joey's back in town right now, so Joey, you got the floor.
What's up, Ernie?
Hi, Joey.
Okay,
Ernie, welcome.
So, I can understand about being agitated about that moth scene because it's a half-hour show, and that moth scene took out about 5 minutes.
No,
So it's like
no. I just
3
rewatched
minutes.
it took about a minute.
And
Nah,
there
it
was a
little bit
point to
longer
it
than
that I have. There's a point to that scene though. That nothing was for just throwaway. But yeah, go ahead.
It was the look. But go ahead. Sorry, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna blame everything the way I am.
Yeah.
The way I am, because before you guys, I was a casual fan. I could give a shit about what's canon, what's not.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. But then hooking up with you guys, like Chris said, everything's canon.
Sure. Everything has to match. Yeah.
So when I saw the Kiadi Mooney last night, I was like, wait, first thing that came to my head was, wait a minute. This guy just said, in episode 1, we haven't seen the Sith in the millennia. But here he is looking at everything going down. So it's like, okay, so did he hide it? I mean, we're gonna go over it later on, but
yeah.
Stuff like that. I was like, that's what really took me out of it, because I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Well, see, and that part didn't bug me, Joey, because I'm assuming that's going to happen, right? Like 100%. I'm planning on that. I think it made it worse with Coyote Monday because he said that, right? Like if you just said Plo Koon and he did this and he was in the background, and then when Coyote Monday says, well, they've been extinct for a millennium, and then you get all the side eye from the other Jedi that we see in Phantom Menace, you can play that through your head that it's right. Right. But when Coyote Monday says it with a straight face in Phantom Menace, now I'm not going to be. Well, he hasn't seen Sith.
We don't know yet.
The word Sith yet. They haven't done it. Right? He's not. We're not there yet. So
that's what I'm saying. All said and done.
If he knows about it, then Yoda has to know about it.
But he doesn't know yet.
That's what I'm saying. At the end, when it's all said and done, and if it is the Sith that came in, then yes, it's like, what are we doing, guys? Like, what are you doing?
We got to see how far.
Okay, so I haven't been on for the last month or so. I'm watching my words. I don't like it. It's like the storyline. I'm like trying to stay with it and everything. And honestly, the only thing that's got my attention is Darth Smiley. He's the only one that has my attention. Everything else, it's like my attention's not there.
Right. And
I'm trying really hard to when you love something so much and you're trying really hard.
Sure.
Guys, I'm a Raider fan. I'm a Raider fan. So it's like, I know what this feels like when you talk something up and you want it to succeed and you want it to be so good, just for the team that you're rooting for to just,
of course,
not meet expectations.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. So it's like, it's not meeting my expectations, especially with it being the Acolyte and revolving around the Sith.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And it's not even anywhere around what I was expecting.
Well,
yeah, for being very dark centric, they said it's not got to that level yet that I feel that's any different than any kind of other story we've seen, right?
And I do agree with that.
Dark
side.
Unless the second half turns that way.
Well, like I said, I do agree with that. It's like for a dark show, where's the dark? Where's the and like today's show really, I mean, it really didn't need a lot of it. It was like, what are we?
We needed the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. But I get you, Joey. I mean, well, like I said, we'll get into it, of course, and I can only implore everybody to just like sit and wait. Like I said, we did that with the sequels, and it didn't really pan out. But we waited though.
But we gave it the shot, right?
Yeah.
We gave it the shot. We thought, okay, they've got a plan. They know what's going on.
But I'm giving it the shot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they keep shooting me back. And stop shooting me and stop.
But maybe that's the people again.
And I'm sorry, but they know that you know damn well when you put Coyote Monday in there that you're going to have fans pissed off. You know that somebody's going to look at it. And if they're looking, they're like, "Oh, he's not alive yet." Well, we can change it and move it by 80 fucking years, right? Because I mean, come on, he died at like 60 something years old or 70 years old in episode 3. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
and he's old in this scene, right? He's wrinkled as shit.
Oh, he had a brown beard versus a white
brown beard.
Yeah,
he's wrinkled. He's dying. He's just fermenting it. Whatever, man. You just do things like that, and it's like I'm fighting, but you got to fight your own fight too. Yeah. I can't just keep taking swings for you and taking hits for you.
No, and you're right. A lot of times, what we do is we try to work around some of those head kind of stuff. And you're right when it comes to the point where it's like I'm getting to the point where I don't want to work around anymore. Just give me a thing, linear story, and we can talk about it. But
I watched House of the Dragon this week. That's why I don't have to do any of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Ernie. You're here. What is your thoughts on this? Like Acolyte, see episode 4 going forward.
I don't know. I want to go back home now. I don't know.
It might get better. It might get better.
Yeah. I know it's everywhere. It's all being talked about. People have great valid points for this one.
Yeah,
they do. And I'm just at the point where I'm watching it. I'm trying to enjoy the most that I can, and then gonna wait for it to end. And see exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
But you're 100%. Right.
100%.
When you're so passionate about something, you are going to get this.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about some of those comments of the Coyote Mundi showing up and some other stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can get that. You know, it's even harder for me because, as you all know, I mean, I do the reaction show right after. And it's so hard because I'm like, what just happened? And how am I going to twist this into
it needs to process
what I
like,
know? Yeah,
of course.
And this one that should have been processed a lot. So I understand what everybody's saying. I'm listening to you guys right now, just hopping in, and I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody in the pit, I really do.
Yeah, we'll get to you guys. I promise.
But as for me, I have to wait. I have to wait for the whole thing to play out. Like you said, what we did with the sequels. Then you can go on and be like, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Like
dude.
Chris was saying, I tried my best to be at bat for you, and all you kept doing was fouling out. So
I'm really trying.
Well, I still think
maybe trying today. You're lucky I opened the blue cookies because I'm being cool.
And like I said, dude, I think it's still premature to make those judgments of like throw your hands in the air and walk away. I am at that point still where it's like things are there for a reason. There's some explanations. There's still some things that need to be done. It's not like it's done one and done and that's it. Everybody,
Mooch, that's our choice and Scott's of trying to make it live right. But I can totally understand.
Oh yeah,
you know Joey and Chris and Genobi and Mando Mike. Like I can. So there's nothing that is to say, well, why are you guys being that way? Because at the same time, I can't understand it. I'm just on the other side of trying to wait till it plays out, and then see where it is.
Yeah,
well, and like I said, that's how I've been. It just today felt like a smack, and it was like just f off.
No,
like,
totally.
That's how it felt.
And you're up there with a lot of people, and it is at 50-50. But you know, we got a cool little character that showed up.
I think so.
You know,
again, I think so.
Cool.
I
did too, man. I don't know what
little
these guys
things
are
like that.
about.
This dude was awesome.
I wanted to kick Basil right in his face.
Did you really?
Immediately. And it's because they're just doing this. This is one. Hey, what cute creature are we going to put in here to sell so we can be like Baby Yoda? And that's what they do in everything now. And there's no same with the droid. Both these things were created to sell. Both of them. Don't get me wrong. I get that Star Wars guys, but they usually have some kind of endearing quality to them. These have nothing. This guy was annoying as hell, and the droid does shit.
I feel like I'm watching the Ewoks TV special.
If you're a collector, you would like the droid.
I do, and it goes along to it.
The Ewok special, dude.
I feel like
yes, 100%.
Yes, he is. He was teeth.
That dude was annoying.
I feel like this is where we're going to, and there was a witch in there too, and there was like.
That's how I felt. The whole force was. We were on Endor. We were in one of those shows.
This is I feel like this is a TV show one, and everything else has been Star Wars, right? Like a production. So I got to wait till the end to see how this after school special is going to play out. Am I going to learn my lesson or am I not? Yeah. So that's it.
All right, Scott, let's go. I'm trying to go.
Right.
We'll do this and get to the pit here in a second.
I'm going to give this episode a B-, C+. It held my interest to a point. I agree with some of the criticisms, especially considering like Keanu Mundi. I mean, the minute I saw him, I thought that had to be a different Syrian.
I did too.
Jedi, and
I thought, hey, cool! It is that race, right? It was like
it's another Syrian. Yeah, it's really cool because, and I'll get into the meat and potatoes of Keanu Mundi a little bit later. But I felt like I was watching. Again, with the production value, I felt like I was watching a Star Wars cosplay troupe pretending they're on the Fellowship of the Ring, heading to Mirkwood to recruit some hobbits or something. I mean that's what it. But not
nine of them. There were 9 of them. It was a fucking fellowship.
I know, but still, it didn't feel like the quality was there. The Keanu Mundi thing was. Yeah, that was annoying. The bug was whatever, and it's fine. It was fine. It didn't piss me off. And the last minute and a half, I was like, okay, game on. And then the goddamn show ended, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That was my take on it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like every other episode. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. Right. I'm gonna hold out for the end. This had some cool stuff in it. This had some stuff that was like, really in it, and
and not
the
turn.
Exactly. I'll just say my little it's very, very brief, and then I'll hit the checks. I know you guys, like, I see you guys in there, and some of it needs to be addressed there. So just like you guys at the end of this, or at the end, I was like, okay, that's next week then. Like, all right, I guess we're not doing it this week. Let's do next week, right? Like almost like a takeaway of like, okay, that was just that last 30 seconds was the meat and potatoes.
It was the writer said, because she got caught shit for that too. I was on the writer's thing today. She covered just about everything we talk about, right?
Yeah.
And she said that was the most natural ending point we'll see next week, because they have the same writers have next week too.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So
it's almost like a part A, part B with this.
It's a
two-parter, and you know what? And it didn't bug me. It was just like, okay, cool. And then I didn't see when last night when we were going through this and we're texting each other, we all didn't know it was Ki-Adi-Mundi until Joey gave us the screenshot. And then there's ruined. Like, to me, that's when things kind of went, oh crap, because I knew exactly where this was going to go. Because at first I thought it was, again, that race. So as I watched this, and I was watching this whole thing and everything, and when I started getting your guys' reaction or Chris's reaction, everybody, and saw the internet, I was like, why is it not hitting me the way it's hitting you guys? Like I'm not mad, and should I be? Am I missing something? Like, should I be mad at this? Because I didn't like I understand, like, Star Wars doesn't the aliens no justice sometimes on aliens. They're dumb. Like some of it is just the stupidest things, annoying, whatever. So I just chalked it up to another Basil. Like in Basil's, I didn't see him as a marketing type person that was added. I just saw it as cool. It's an alien, spoke Shriwick, and that was cool. And at least that was that.
Well, he spoke something. He didn't speak. He spoke something else that Yord learned that was
you know what I mean? And so again, going through this whole thing, and I understand there was some life lessons going on. There was that Moth thing, and we'll get into what that's parallel to Osha's life and what that happened, that I kind of like saw. I just didn't see like why I should be mad at this episode. Now, again, I'm still at a solid B with this whole entire thing as is right now. 4 episodes, and I will wait until it's 8 episodes, and that 8th episode, if it doesn't do what it's on the surface, like reversing, because on the surface there's a lot of things that, like, you guys might say, oh, they're doing it just to mess with us, or they're doing it or they just don't know. I don't know. I'm not there yet as far as like, is this a malicious thing, or is it an ignorance thing, or is it serves a purpose of the plot? Like I said, nothing, because as of right now, besides Ki-Adi-Mundi being in it, nothing has changed. It still preserves nothing has been set in stone that's going to mess up canon, except for him being alive at this point.
Right.
And that's major. Don't get me wrong.
It's major because it sets it now that it's out there and that just happened. It just do it to everything. F it.
Well,
F it. Just change everything.
Yeah. I want to know.
Nothing matters anymore. And I get that it was Legends before and they just changed his age, but it's a big change. Syrian lifespans aren't supposed to be but 65, 70 years. Right. And that's all getting swapped now.
It's not necessarily canon, though, that are Legends. It's see, I was telling you guys earlier in our private chat that Ki-Adi-Mundi was like the first comic to come out in the build-up to Phantom Menace. He was a character that George had a definite hand in whenever it came to creating the Phantom Menace, the world of the Phantom Menace, and the world of Star Wars, back in 1999.
Yeah.
And he was set up to be the youngest, but I'll say this with a caveat. Ki-Adi-Mundi was supposed to be the youngest Jedi on the council. He was also supposed to be the only knight on the council. He was not a Jedi master. That was the whole purpose behind this character. He was the youngest Jedi knight on the council, the first ever. And then George kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater on that whenever he made Anakin he put Anakin on the council, but didn't grant him the rank of master, because as we all know, it's outrageous. It's never been done before, right? So
it's never been done before, right? Yeah.
I'm trying not to get too bent out of shape about it, because even George Lucas was willing to break his own canon that he set up in the build up to the Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, though, that even post Disney buyout, Ki-Adi-Mundi's life has kind of been set the same, right? Even Chris, you had pointed out earlier today, there was a card that came out after the Disney buyout with the history of Ki-Adi-Mundi on it that showed his lifespan, and everything we know about Disney after the buyout is supposed to be canon, right? So again, here we go. Here's this card. It's Galactic
grainy.
Files. Yeah, it is kind of grainy. But born 92 years before the Battle of Yavin, which puts his death at what, 63, 60, 62, 63 years old?
Or 70.
So 70. There we go.
Yeah.
So okay. We're breaking our own canon here, and that's if this card didn't exist, would we be still having this conversation? Because hey, what's up, Ernie? How you doing, man?
There's some good points in there.
Would we be having this conversation though if this card didn't exist? Right?
Probably not. Like if it wasn't
Legends, and when Disney did the buyout, they removed everything. But the problem is, George had a hand in building it. Everybody hang their hats on that. Even George threw that out whenever Revenge of the Sith came out to a point, and then Disney did this.
But it was also in the Star Wars Insider when it came out with 99, right? And they had a CD-ROM with the tape that came out, everything, and it talked about Ki-Adi-Mundi and his age and all that. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that eventually all that stuff became legends. I get it, but like I talked about a minute ago, that's the stuff you don't have to change. There's no reason for that change at all. You had other characters that could have taken the place. Gordon asked right there, was that Plo Koon? No, Gordon.
It was not. It was a Keldar.
Yeah. Was that a little while ago? Swap them. Make that a Syrian, a random Syrian on the planet with them, and put Plo Koon in that room. Yeah. And then we are completely 100% cool. And I swear to you, I would have a completely different view of this entire episode.
Well, again, and I get your point about the slippery slope, right? If they can just willing it, just boot whatever, then what else could they do? And then all of a sudden we're sitting there going like, everything that I've known,
now it's back to EU, man. Now it's back to that. Nothing matches.
But again,
gonna move around.
Maybe there's a reason for it. And again, I have to say that because we're not done. That has to be a thing.
It had to be that character.
I don't know.
Her thing was her response was, hold on. Somebody said that why use Ki-Adi-Mundi and blah 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 and this and that. She's like, well, we offered the part to Yoda. But he was unavailable. Like they made him unavailable. They're not allowed to use Yoda. So it
could be total ignorance on their part. Yeah, it could be total ignorance on their part that they did not know about this. Again, like where I feel, to me, Dave Filoni should know better. And if it did cross his path, then that's something. I mean, they filmed it. It's there. It was a part. It's being talked about.
Guess what? Gotta live with it now.
Well,
that's the new age. That's the new lifespan. We don't even know what the lifespan is anymore, right? We don't know any of that.
I'm sorry. I think we put too much on Filoni now of his position. Filoni used to be one of us and the leader there. I understand if he's producer and all that, but he's such in high position now. He has a group of 5 guys just like us doing that for him where this could have slipped. He's got to be doing so many projects. I really don't think he sat there and read it all and was like, put his stamp on it. Okay, next.
That's the thing. She said he did. She said he did.
Level. He said
he did. The writer said
the writer did.
That's what's getting me all riled up today too. Is I'm like, damn, give me a reason not to get mad. Did Filoni write off? Filoni had the final script. Filoni went through it and okayed it.
Well, that's
my point was we're getting. I want to be okay with this, right? Because even George Lucas was willing to break his own canon that he built.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I want to be pissed off about it, but I can't be, because if George was willing to change it halfway through his trilogy,
but that's the thing. They said they weren't going to do that. That's the thing. They were going to keep everything clean. And I get that this wasn't canon, but it's in people's heads and didn't have to change where it should have just been left alone. But again, we'll story it now. Now we'll story it, right? Because we have to. It exists. It's been changed. Whatever. We could say there were 5 different ways to do it better, and there were.
Oh, sure.
But
and here's the thing too, right? If it was a like I said, a writing thing that just went through, I'm again. Here's me.
I hope somebody just owns up to it, says we didn't realize.
Well, that's it. And then don't do it again. You know what I mean? Like lesson learned kind of deal.
A little more careful.
Yeah, if it was just fan service,
mistakes.
Yeah, if it was just fan service, then maybe that's all it was, just fan service.
Especially when you're already you've got us in a you're in the most controversial IP, doing the most controversial show that we knew ahead of time was going to be, talked about.
Oh yeah, every
single week, right? And then you just do things like that. It's like it just feels like I'd imagine say F them to everybody. Well, what the people that like us will have our back. Everybody else burn, and that's what's going on. That's how it feels.
Well, this is a horrible way to run a company, but
it's not a way to run a company, bro. But that's what it.
I understand it's the worst way to run a company.
Yeah,
it gets to the point where you're kind of like, okay, come on, I'm on your side. Keep going. You're doing a perfectly okay job, and it's like the writer room. They're like, oh, wait, watch this.
Yeah,
like,
that's where I have a problem with. I just
explodes,
honestly. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a malicious thing. I think maybe it's just they're bad at what they do. Some people are bad at what they do. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people are way in over their heads on certain things. You know
what you call a doctor who is last in his class in graduation? You still call him a doctor. So it's,
exactly. I cannot just see this for like F them all. I'm doing this. Watch them square. Yeah. Like who runs a business like let me try to own my customers. It's like that's just like I never could see that point of view if they want longevity out of it, especially a company like.
But they do that though.
They do, but they're very careful on some things that they add things in as we see it on the show. Yeah. They add things in there, but it's not blatant, getting down and dirty. It's like a cheek touch here, a side glance there, and they get that point across where we go, I see it, but okay. You know what I mean?
Marco, in this day and age, you're not supposed to do that either. No cheek touches, no thigh glance.
Don't touch anybody.
Right.
Look at him. Don't touch him.
Yeah.
Again, the words and expressions viewed by Marco is not part of the Starlight Digest.
We don't touch nobody's cheeks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Or the thigh glance.
I will choose my words wisely next time. All right, you got it. Thank you, Ernie.
But you know what?
Junobi right here. But that was George's right to change it. It was his. It
was 4 billion reasons why it's not.
It was his. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I agree with you. It was his right, but he sold it, and once he sold it, he gave up those rights.
Look,
yeah,
George Lucas sold Disney, knowing well that they're gonna make this go on for years, even beyond him, and even beyond the creators that are doing it now. Like say they have this is gonna be a thing, a staple in Americana and entertainment. This George Lucas sold it for knowing that they're gonna be doing a lot of things with it. So it wasn't like you're going to preserve my notebook and only my notebook moving forward. Otherwise, he wouldn't have sold it. He would have been like, I'm done. Right. Nobody needs this anymore. And as much as we are George Lucas fans, look, trust me, he came in today and he come and says whatever I will be like, yes, sir. Yeah, you got it. It's bad. Okay, it's bad. You know what I mean? Like that's how we are. Of course, but like it's just we got. I mean, if we're in this, we're in this. If not,
I was just gonna say, we're in. Let's do the story. Let's
So I just want
to let's make this shit fit.
Cool.
Because we can go. I'm telling you right now, dude. I ate the blue cookie, so I have to be nice. I can go for an hour on how mad I am.
I want some of those,
right? Because I was last night. I was hot.
I will. Let me.
I think we can story this, dude, and make it okay. We can't
okay, cool. No, we can't. Matt Logic 44 checking in. We've got Gordon, of course, checking in. We got Chet Maddox. We have Alexander Storm. We got Douglas Tupper. What else? Gordon again. Sin City Villain. Basil G. And we got a lot of people in there. And again, Obi-Wan Chingones is in there. So, and again, I am reading your guys' comments and stuff. And so when we get into this story, like when we get into like what the episode presented to us, I'm sure that we'll hit some of those points, So with the story now, we got our sentiment out there. We got what we wanted of the story. But now, like presenting what is happening in this story going forward. Let's talk about Kelnaka real fast, okay? Because this is the whole thing about finding him. The Jedi are trying to extract him because he's in danger, and then May and what's his name? His name? No, not Soul. No. May and
his partner. I can't remember his name either.
Kim.
I know.
She just lost me now.
I know.
Camille.
So
right?
yeah.
Camille,
So
Camille.
May, yeah, Camille and May are after him. And of course the Jedis are after him and stuff. And now it's a race to find Kelnaka. And so Kelnaka is going to be interesting to me moving forward because we still haven't seen the last of him, even though, spoiler alert, he got killed in this one. Yes, we did not see it. He got killed off screen, but that's a whole thing. We haven't seen the last of him because he's in a major flashback scene that's still promised from the trailers, and he is wielding a lightsaber and he's going after Torben. That's a thing too. So there's a lot of shit that still goes down. That's why I'm watching this going like, there's still so much like to get into, The one thing, and I wanted to ask you guys, like, you noticed his writings all over his little ship, and he went missing. There were all the witches stuff.
Yeah.
Is that something because maybe he was mind controlled? Now he's messed up like Torben was. You know what I mean? Like, he can't get this to show now.
You mentioned that one of you guys mentioned that in the trailer, because I haven't really watched the trailers, that you saw Kelnaka go after him like with the black eyes, right? Like go after Torben.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe if they went in there, maybe he's gone kind of nuts. Maybe that's what Torben was going through too. Like why he was on the Barash Valley, he couldn't get it out of his head after being. Maybe there's been something going on, and he just went nutty. That, or he's studying it and to find out what was going on over there because it was freaking him out. And one of the two.
It was something like maybe he didn't trust himself and he went on to this like hiding and stuff. Now I'm going to be on this planet and nobody just don't bother me. You know what I mean? And then that, or maybe he was trying to find answers through, like I said, the witches stuff. Maybe he was exploring that dark side witch power that he was doing things. Yeah. So anybody else with that kind of, Kelnaka take?
The other part on there, she has this the writer and directors here have a real problem with earthly type stuff. I've had a problem with this entire time, and the yin and yang symbol is way too earthly to be used. You got to do something else. Like the Jedi symbol when they had the Jedi Prime was kind of yin and yang, right? Yeah. But it wasn't the same. Using it exactly the way it did is like using a peace sign. It's out of place,
Fake Baka. Rick Joe saying
Rick Joe's with the fake Baka.
Fake Baka has witch demons all up inside. Yeah, I mean,
he did look cooler in just brown robe and belt. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Did you guys not get the feel either of the holiday special inside his house? Like the way they panned, it was like the same thing, and it looked very holiday special.
And that's
I'm saying quality wise, sure.
That's one thing I'm
serious. Again, the TV special, it really did. If you remember when they entered the home, and the way they went and like the little stuff, the trinkets that they had around and everything.
Yeah.
It was giving me those vibes.
And that's one thing I will not defend. It's like half the episode I agree with you was like, come on, you got and then the other half was like there's like certain shots I'm like, that's cool. Why isn't this consistent? Why isn't this like the first two episodes consistency? I get it.
Sometimes they use the volume and it's very clear when they do
soundstage versus practical. It's 100%. Right. Yeah, Gordon, that's where I was getting like Gordon saying I think when things went south, Kelnaka tried to intervene and gave Torben that scar. That could be a thing. Again, some really dark stuff went down on May's version. That
and that came up because Soul told her, he's all, you're not facing your sister, you're facing your past, and so am I. Facing her past. He's all, and I'll tell you all about it when we get out of
That's
here.
Where I was like,
right,
we're gonna get some exposition here. We're gonna get like this whole thing. And to go along with this whole thing, it's like these 4 Jedi are being hunted by May and Darth Smiley or whatever it is. But also at the beginning, Venestra even confronted Soul and said, nobody told us about this, and why May is like nobody, like what happened there? Something happened. So another theory that I was going through this, like these 4 Jedi are being hunted by Darth Smiley and May for a reason, because they're the only ones that know about this, Force life essence that they put in. I don't think anybody knows but those 4 Jedi, and that might be Darth Smiley's motivation to kill those 4 Jedi too, using May as the as his acolyte to and her personal vengeance story. But that's his goal too, to kill that knowledge that it exists too, right? I mean, that's a possibility of his role in this too, not just I'm a bad guy and go do bad stuff. And so that kind of put it in my head too. It's like if Vernestra didn't know about it. They're not going to tell the High Council. There's all these 4 Jedi are all like sworn to secrecy almost. It's almost like, I know what you did last summer, right?
Yeah,
they're the only ones that know, and now they're being systematically killed for that knowledge that will eventually come out, I think. Or it dies with Soul. Soul's the last one to know about this. I don't even think the sisters know that they were born without that or without a father. Who knows, like what that.
I think they do. They knew they were special. They were told from the get-go they were.
We also still don't know the full extent of that. We don't know what it is just yet. Maybe it is born of the. Like I said last week, Darth Plagueis had to find that knowledge somehow in canon, right?
Yeah.
So is this it? We see a scene today where I don't know. I'm thinking, do we, like I put in the thumbnail today, who is the Acolyte? Is the Acolyte May, or is the Acolyte going to end up being Osha?
Yeah,
or
Darth Smiley.
Yeah.
Well, no,
the twins are a ruse.
Yeah, I think maybe
an Acolyte is a follower, right?
Right.
Yeah. He's got a master, brother.
Yeah, like I said.
Oh, you think he's got the master?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not the master. He's pretending to be the master.
Yeah.
He's not the master. He's and if he's
not,
well, the fact that he just threw back 9 Jedi.
Well,
is.
He's a very powerful man. Well, like I said, that's why I was like kind of getting at too. Is like maybe he's the Acolyte too, because if this all gets laid out on the table, it's like and they discovered what he is or what it's not, or maybe they stop something from happening. The Sith has to be preserved, right? The Sith return or all that stuff. I mean, again, we're saying it has to be preserved. The chat's agreeing with us. Do the story group know this? Because that's I will lose my shit if it doesn't happen. But anyway, that's where you'll see me do a 180. I swear to God, I will start burning things behind me. But
so you have your points.
I got I've got my breaking. Like I said, Coyote was one of those things where I go, who cares? But then after talking about it, it's like, you know what? I can't say who cares. It's a slippery slope.
It's because it's not. I don't love Coyote Monday. I can give a shit. I like Plo Koon more than Coyote Monday.
Yeah,
but it's like,
what's the impact, right?
It's the impact. It's the implications. It's going forward. It's the precedence that's set.
It was a weird choice.
Yeah,
and all I remember was when they even brought him back when he did that glaring look over. Didn't he do that a lot in the show too?
Yes.
What is that?
Yes, and you know what? And watch it when you watch it again for me. And Vernestra in that whole scene, she was Jim Carrey. Every reaction was like in Patrick was like, It was just, and she wasn't even really looking at when she wasn't when she was talking to people. She wasn't really looking at them. She was doing all the time. I'm like, this chick is the worst actress on the planet. Like horrible in this show. Horrible, man. I'm like,
she's not great.
She's not. She is not.
No.
She can't keep an emotion straight. Like I watch her and I'm like, is she supposed to be angry right now? Sad? Is she supposed to be stoic? What is this chick? What is her deal?
It irritates the hell out of me because I mean, she's the one link we have to the novels, right?
I know.
I'm sitting here listening to the audiobook of the final High Republic novel, and Vernestra shows up, and I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Because this character in the book is better than man. I'm just like
like Genobi is saying too, going back to like that, Kamir and Darth Smiley. I think the Sith is someone you don't all expect, but the clue was there again.
Yeah,
Chris brought this up about Kamir being the Sith Lord at episode 2.
Yeah,
and that was a thing, and all of a sudden, like now it was all over the internet and stuff. And now with this episode did play very well on pointing fingers at him. He knew too much. There's even May was questioning him, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm thinking like, it's too easy. It's too easy. Like why is the show pointing to the point now? And that has me, and that's where I'm kind of having fun with that, with the show doing that to where it's
I agree with that. But again, they make it, well, he's either the Acolyte or the Master. He's one of the two. He's more powerful than her. They're using the twins. Right, because
I think it's
in the jungle.
Straight up,
he found Kelnaka. Everything in there is just his bag, the bag he had was exactly helmet shaped.
Oh, dude, even from his silhouette would look everything. Also,
he has helmet hair.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, honestly,
when he revealed himself, he didn't have gloves on, and it was dark, and I think someone was pointing out, it's like when he pushed May aside or Osha aside like that, people were saying, like, kind of comparing the hands to You know,
well, even when he got in her face, he had done that in the apothecary, right?
Like
he got right up in her
studying
face,
her,
the same exact way, looking at her.
Just a little too confident too. Just so. And here he is confronting Osha, and I wanted him to run her through with the saber. We all know she'd live, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But that's what I expected. I expected that moment. I expected that moment to be a key turning point for May, right? Where May is like going to double down on her quick flip, right? That's the thing that got me is the quick flip with May. I'm like,
yeah. Let's bring that up. Let's talk about May all of a sudden deciding
real quick on my seventh watch real fast, right? Logan happened to walk in, okay, and the lightsaber scene came on where he turned the lightsaber on, and he says to me, he's all, did he just slice her in half? Like,
right.
I'm all, no, he's all, oh, that'd have been cooler.
Yeah,
that
would have been way cooler. So I just want you to know there's other people that think the same.
Yeah, Mando, I
the switch.
Trust me, I see it. I see them, and like I said, when we get to hopefully, like when we get into like certain plot points, they are answered. But well, we got Hal Runner. Hal Runner base checking in. I'm under the impression that Basil is in the league with the Sith. He led the Jedi there, and suspiciously pops up almost after Kilnock is killed.
He didn't disappear.
He's a tracker, right? Yeah, it's
but he disappeared for a while, and it's like, what? Okay, where did he go? And then that was
we need a tracker to track our tracker.
That was funny.
Yeah,
I like
that was the best Yord line the entire season.
series.
Yeah. It's and there are, again, I think we said this last week too. There are moments where I like Yord, but then the other half of the moments where I'm like, kick this guy, and then
I liked his banter with him and Osha. That's our gun. You got to turn it, because he was joking her. He was messing her. He was just like being that guy. Like, if you're gonna be on this, I don't think he was serious about it, but it was kind of funny, that banter. He kind of like, it's a hit and miss with that. He's too straight and forward, but then it's like he has these moments, but so May, okay, so this is what I don't understand. Again, I have to see how this plays out or whatever. All of a sudden, she just comes to like the realization that my sister being alive changes everything, and everything that I've done and all the stuff that I survived and trained with this master and do all these things. All of a sudden, now I'm going to turn everybody in. I'll have a immunity because I'll tell them about this, whatever, and I got to go find my sister because we're still connected. Now, on one hand. I came to this realization. Like on one hand, like May is the one who's obsessed with Osha. Like, they're connected. Their connection is one-sided. Osha doesn't have that connection. She's like, I'll leave everybody here. I don't care. Like, I want to leave my whole the motherhood thing. I will leave my sister. But May is like, we're going to become one. We're going to do this thing.
Or you're going to die.
Yeah. If I can't have you, no one can. And now that she said that because of her sisters, it changes everything.
My loyalty is with Osha.
And I don't understand it. And again, I have to wait and see how this plays out. I know a lot of people are saying, okay, looks like there's a flip where May will join the Jedi and Osha will join. I don't think so, but
I do. I do. I think that Osha's going to get exposed to the truth of what really happened to her witch clan, and that's going to set her off. Yeah. And it's going to be
you're right.
Trying to stop her from going down the same path she went down.
Yeah, because we never saw Osha's full potential at any level, right? Power. They just said you're more powerful than this, and you're very powerful. But none of us have seen it.
Even when she was a kid, she didn't do anything. She hid behind.
You guys are saying all this, and I just want to make note now. My breaking point out of this is if the Sith is a triplet. And it's another she reveals
it's a triad. It's a triad.
They were triplets.
Yeah, that'd probably be. I don't. Yeah.
And there's a planet of Mays.
Yeah. That's my. That is my
somehow May
right
multiplied.
There. Yeah. That is that part.
That would be interesting too, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah. So like this whole May flipping on the dime like that, it was too sudden. It was too like, wait a second.
And then how she spoke changed, right? Because when she saw Basil, hey pal, right? Like it was like her voice was like, hey pal. The hell was that? You've killed 2 Jedi. I'm going to turn myself into Master Kilnaka, and then we'll see the other Jedi. They'll put you in jail. Not after I tell them who I know. Chick, You just killed 2 Jedi Masters.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Know.
This whole point of like one of the best lines that Kamir said was when he was like, "You can't do this," and then he kind of like became very still and said, "He'll kill you." You know what I mean? And not like a warning.
Yeah,
it was almost like it was almost like a personality change. It's like,
yeah,
like, you do this
just like before.
He does that really well. He does that really, really well.
I was like,
hanging upside down was cool because he went from swing to just letting it hang.
Yeah, right? And then they're like,
yeah,
listen, he'll kill you. Yeah,
that was a promise.
Yeah, and I kind of dug that. And again, the whole hiding in plain sight makes perfect sense. And so that could still come to fruition. But yeah, this whole May and Osha thing about.
Also, he slipped. Hold on, sorry. When they were walking in there, she said, "What kind of deal did you make with him?" Yeah. He's all, we didn't. Like he said like that. Like it was weird. Like there might be even been a we.
Yeah.
Because he did say that we didn't make he collects people.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing to say, right? That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring up that people are still harping on some of the, just the overall production value and whatnot. We of course we cover all that, but then we try and put it all in its place, right? We're going to complain, we're going to bitch, we're going to point out Kiadamundi shouldn't be alive, but at some point in time, you just kind of gotta. It exists, so you gotta take it. You gotta, like Mooch always says, you gotta wrap it up and put it where it belongs.
Put it in its place. Right? Otherwise, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Right. What are we doing here tonight? You know what I'm saying?
What's the point?
So our first 20-30 minutes was ripping it because there were things to rip. The quality sucked this week half the time.
Yeah, and that planet
sucks sometimes.
Yeah, and like I said, this is a fantasy world, dude. Like, it's a fantasy world, so sometimes you do have to suspend your belief and be like, all right, this kind of world, it might seem like a soundstage, and in reality it is, but maybe they didn't do a good job hiding it, or that cinematography or that cinematic experience. But at the same time, it's alien. It's not familiar to us, and it's supposed to be that way. So you kind of
but the Star Wars universe is familiar to us. So when you see it and you see it in a lesser quality than you're used to, it's jarring. And I think that the thing that makes it worse is knowing the budget. If we didn't know the budget,
sorry, Julie. Julie's going through an emotional roller coaster.
Right?
Sorry,
but
Julie.
if we didn't know the budget, we didn't know it was double Kenobi's. I wouldn't be as mad about the quality. I'm like, man, it's just a TV one, like they did with Kenobi. You're going to get some shoddy shit,
Well, like
different, but we know it's 180 million. That's a lot.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. What's like we got to.
Scott said earlier, they're cosplaying half the time.
Yeah,
these aren't.
It really does feel like it.
No, I get it, and like just to compare, it's like when in Kenobi, when a speeder comes in, it looks so bad, but we know. But see, when we talk about it, a speeder came in, you know what I mean, and picked up and left. The like sometimes that second. I mean, look, we love Star Wars and its technological advances and all that stuff, and I hate the fact that I even have to say it. Is that I have to see that second sometimes because again, I can't change it. It was presented to us this way, and if we don't like it. All right, cool, but we
just got to make it known because I do think people listen to it. I do think Lucasfilm sometimes listens to all of us, right? At some point, and you got to let it be known what's going on.
Yeah. My bad. This is history, and we're just reporting on it. I mean, come on, Mooch. Star Wars is a documentary. I'm with you, man. Like, I'm with you.
And that's how we got to do it with the story.
Right, and I said that with the sequels too. Like, as much as I go, I'm not going to talk about it. It happened.
See, I guess I'm more forgiving of this because it's a TV show. But what if this was a movie? That would everybody still be like, we gotta wait,
No,
what if
because
this was a movie?
No, because in 2 hours you'd get the points direct. It wouldn't be stalling or drug out. You would get like the major points.
Unless it's a trilogy.
Yeah, unless it's it's a trilogy. But there's different pacing. Yeah, there's different pacing, So Sin City Village. Since my first time here, I'm curious. Is Bootleg Joe the real Sith master? Bonus drinks. You have no idea what he's texting us on the side. Okay,
he knows us all.
It's dirty
already. Yeah.
It's dirty.
I just sit back and embrace the horror.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, there's a lot of things what the show does good as far as like, is it red herrings all the time? Is it to the point where it's like everything was there? And we didn't trick anybody. It's like, and we're trying to put angles on things too. So
that's the other thing part. Is what the problem about listening to the directors, writers, and everybody. So just when you think you have it figured out, we're gonna switch it around,
right? And that's why I take nothing for face. That's why I take nothing in the show for face value as is until, and just like I said, is this a Sith? Is this a thing? Is this going to be until it is? Like, I don't know.
And I before the show started, I kept saying we've not heard the word Sith. They're not talking Sith, but she herself, again, Headland talks many times in interviews. We almost used Darth Bane so we can get the Sith lore, blah blah. We pulled that back, and this, like, thank God you didn't use Darth Bane at this point, right? I mean, I'm like, whew, dodged a bullet from putting him into canon properly in this show.
Yeah. Howl Runner base. They told us not to trust our eyes in the first teaser trailer. Absolutely, they did say that. I mean, it was a thing, and
there were 2 of them,
right? And again, and I think this first half was something. The second half of this series is going on where we get, like I said, what these 4 Jedi, and like I said, what's Darth Smiley's main motivation? Is he the Acolyte? Is he the Master? Is he got how many? If he collects people, all right, is this a cabal we're going to uncover? Yeah. And then how is this going to play into the Phantom Menace era where it's the Sith have been extinct for a millennia? That is, I don't care what anybody says, that has to be preserved.
It was an interesting talk about having to kill them, defeat them without a weapon, right? And how he was asking her and kind of
goes back to the Vader comic, dude.
Right? Like, it's going well. She could force choke him for number 1, right? But this is almost getting to the way the Sith are is trying to get into them, trying to get into their rankings. That's why he's trying to teach them. But when she was saying it's not a test, maybe it's his test to kill these Jedi with her as the weapon.
Well, if you think about too, he still wants to. I mean. Okay, I'm going to say this, but then it just kind of blew up in the face. Unless next week everybody dies, so unless it was that confident where he's going to come in and obliterate everybody. But having her as a tool is preserve. I'm sorry, it preserves that secret. If this is the secretive way of infiltrating, living in plain sight. Eventually, like I said, it gets to Plagueis, he gets to Sidious, and it gets when he does his thing. This is until he revealed himself at the end. Why would he do that? To preserve May? Like, May was about to do something that he didn't want to do. That's why he made himself known. But I was going to say, like, it didn't have to be where he showed himself at all this whole series. You know what I mean? Like, preserving his secret identity or or the fact that the Sith have returned. You know, like, again, the Sith have always returned. It's just they never made it known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've been saying since the first teaser trailer as well that they can maintain the mystery and the secret of the Sith, regardless of Ki-Adi-Mundi being in the room or not, just by killing everybody that is a witness to the Red Blade Saber, right?
And I think that's what's happening.
I do too, but at the same time, I've also heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, if it's been 100% confirmed, but is there already a season 2 in the works?
I think it was.
Hearing that.
I think it was at first because we were talking about it. I think it was the writers are prepared for season 2 if it got to the point where it's greenlit. Like they were like, we're ready for season 2 whenever Disney is or whenever.
What's your thought, Ernie? Think there's a season 2 of this show?
Ernie?
No.
No.
Probably not.
Okay.
So, I was getting that vibe, guys. Look, I just got from a source that I don't think there's going to be a season 2 of The Acolyte.
Yeah.
Okay. So then everybody needs to be dead by the end of the series.
Wait, what's that, Ernie?
I don't think there's going to be a season 2.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a season 2.
Yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if. Well, see, okay, so episode 5. I don't think we're going to pick up right where we left. I think we're going to get that flashback, that maze flashback, and then episode 6 or whatever, we're going to get to that pushback scene, and it's going to go down. I think it's going to go down, and my prediction is everybody that is coming across this dude is dead now, because that causes Vernestra to go visit the planet, because in the trailer she has the whip on a grass plain jungle planet, if you will. So and she's the one who's hiding it from the High Council. She made it a point to say, we're not taking this upstairs just yet. We can't.
This will get to the Senate. This will cause a problem politically. Right. Right.
Yeah. So now, but here's the thing. If all those Jedi on this planet disappear, Sol and everybody, and Vernestra disappears, there's still going to be these questions on, like, who the hell killed everybody, right? So that's where it's like everybody in the room is dead, but there's also people how many people knew that there was going to be this expedition to this planet?
There was probably
Eddie Money didn't know. He didn't know. He just knew that this was happening. Did he know about
the expedition?
I don't think so, because they were talking on the side, and Soul's like,
outside,
let me go after, let me take Osha, and then Vanessa was like
side-eyeing. No, because she sent the one girl that was standing next to the Lady Jedi that was standing next to Coyote.
Was she there?
She sent her because that's who was going on the thing, and there was 9 Jedi with them, and they were
I don't remember
from the room.
She was there, the one that said actually like maybe this is a rogue faction, right? That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, she was leading it. Yeah,
Chris, isn't it 4? Isn't it 4 masters and then 4 Padawan?
Oh, it might have been.
It's only 8.
But I'm counting Osha.
Oh, okay.
That's 9. Yeah. And then it would be 10 with the guide, but I don't count the guide. That's more like Gollum.
I just meant Jedi's of able to fight. So as I see it, I see as able to fight 4 masters.
Yeah,
because the Padawans aren't that strong.
I just call them red shirt Jedis at this point. You know, they're fodder. They're there to die. But you're okay. So,
and then that's who Coyote Money was talking to outside of the room when they all left the room and had their side conversations. And Money looked at her. Yeah, you know, like the hell. So something's up. But again, I don't have a problem with that yet. The Sith stuff, I don't have a problem with
not
that.
yet. And I'm with you there, dude. Like I said, I'm with you until it becomes a problem. Like if this it just I just don't see it, dude. Like I don't see somebody sitting in that room, especially if Dave Filoni now letting us out. He knows this stuff, and like I said, the buck has to stop somewhere. And if it comes out to where it's like the Sith are back, but we stopped them. Well, then it wasn't 1,000 years ago when they were back. You know what I mean? Like it was.
That's not what a millennia means.
On your planet, I don't think you know what a millennia means.
Oh, that's the problem. They age differently now. We didn't know.
He's like,
there you go.
I'm back for a millennia hour. 1,000 hours.
Assyrian millennia. Got it.
Maybe
that was
100 years. Got it. Yeah. 100
maybe
years.
1,000, weekends or 1,000.
Right?
I don't know.
You know what was a interesting talk was when Soul was trying to talk Osha out of going after May type of thing, right? And she need to get away. She's a murderer. And he says she's still your family. Like these guys are like they're so back and forth on attachments are bad.
Right.
And then she's a murderer, she's your family.
This is
I'm like, babe, what's going on?
But she rejected the Jedi Order. She rejected the Jedi faith and left. Right?
No, she was ready to come back, right?
She goes, "Are you asking me to come back?"
You're right. That was weird, huh? Because she's the one that rejected it.
Yeah.
But then she also asked, like, "Are you asking me to come back?" And Soul's like, "Not quite."
No.
But she kind of went like, she wanted to be asked to come back. It was almost.
It's weird. It's I don't know.
There's also, like I said, Soul's motivation in this is again, I think there's going to be a lot more to it. Because he's really pushing this, and I think
it'll come out.
I mean, this is going to be some.
Next episode,
he's dying. He's dead. There's still something odd about the 2 sisters, though. There really is something like there's something odd because like May, I know she's scared shitless, and because I'm sorry, but I liked Darth Smiley's entrance. It was like that. It
was awesome.
I thought
it was Dracula. From
I thought that was theory, and all of a sudden, like, who's this guy?
I was all good. I was good.
I liked it.
That was cool.
But May staying quiet in that, like I said, and like, oh crap, he's here, and then like Osha's the one who turned her. There's something weird going on where there's like more than meets the eye to those 2 being in the same room together, kind of. I know we saw them as kids, and I know that's a thing, and I know Soul saw the 2 and one die and saved the other. I know that. But there's still something kind of odd that's going on now. Like, did May really die that day? You know what I mean? And it's like,
or did he grab Osha, or did he grab May by mistake, and May pretended to be Osha all these years?
Right, like
Osha
that.
To be May all these years.
That or May is really dead, and Osha is playing the 2 roles, but is in 2 places at the same time. No, I don't know. Like I said, that might be way over the top. But again, I just feel sometimes like something's odd there. It's because
because they're connected. They're not in where they should be. They're both in opposite places right now. That's why
they're all
So does she have to put the circle thing on her head too in the mirror all the time?
No, I just think that's me. I don't know, man. Like I said, there's something weird on it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did have some sort of twist like that. Moving on,
Remember, don't trust your own eyes.
I see a triplet more likely.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the triplets thing at the.
Yeah.
All right, we said goodbye to Commander Bly. He had to go, so thanks for coming and chatting with us. We also have Andrew Wordna in the chat too. Let's see, what is he saying? Smash that like, of course, smash that like.
Please,
even if you don't like what we're saying, smash that like. You know what I mean? We're trying to talk ourselves through this too, just like everybody else. You know, I do appreciate the passion that's behind, like I said, when we do talk about stuff, it might get a little like heated. So like I said, at the beginning, I didn't know why everybody else not everybody, but like seemed upset where I wasn't getting upset. And I'm like, am I missing? Why am I seeing a different show, or am I just forcing myself to be like not seeing things that I should be seeing? And so I was getting a little defensive that way. I was like, look, no, you know, like, hey, knock it off. Like, this is getting a little annoying because now it's not being explained to me other than, you know, like I said, what there's like everything going forward. Like the moth thing. I saw that moth scene as Osha's relation to how the Jedi came to her town, touched something, and everybody died. She touched that.
Jesus, you read a lot into that.
Well, you are way deeper.
That's exactly what happened there, because she said it in a dialogue. Otherwise, it would just be like, monster tried to eat me and Soul killed it. It was like I interacted with it, and therefore it's dead, and I caused it to die with my being here.
See,
and that was the whole
that it was
Jedi.
attracted to the light side is why it died. It should have stayed in the dark.
I mean, and but that's the correlation between the Jedi coming to her own planet, interfering, and that's what May's point of view is, right? Everybody died in the results of the Jedi being there, and that's how I took that moth scene.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
that's deeper, bro. That's deeper, bro, than they ever put anything.
I'm trying, because I don't want this. Like, again, it's Star Wars, right? And you always try to be like, this isn't just a lot of philosophy, cut and dry,
right?
Yeah, it's not a cut and dry story. So, Obi-Wan Chigon is. I thought the same thing of them being the same person using the Force projection. Again, I'm just throwing it out there as a. Now I'm side-eyeing these certain possibilities of like a twist at the end going, forward.
That was my thought in the first episode, but then by the second episode, they kind of threw that out as well.
It's been pretty clear that they're two people.
Yeah.
How runner bait. Osha's pulled the thread. She even said it, right? And the bug's death was the result. Yeah. It's let's see. I took them.
I took the whole thing as just a little kid's story. Like, keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch shit.
I took the moth scene as the don't touch. See, seriously. Now look what happened. Was it the trees look plastic? Yeah, I mean, it's an alien. It's not supposed to look earthly, right? It's an alien planet, so
it just looks shitty. It's just
maybe the execution way. Hey,
it's the novella. Right? It's the telenovelas. I told you, it's that same the soap opera looking pixelation or movement.
It's almost like it's too crystal clear. It's you look at
too high def.
Go look at. Yeah, regular TV soap operas always have that weird kind of reality to them, right? It's just a little too clear. Yeah,
and I've said that before. Like Kenobi, you got to dumb it down. You take it off, and it's usually my first or second show when I see it. Like, I'm like, oh, and then I watch it on my phone, and I'm like, oh, that's better. It's smaller, so it's not looking as big and ridiculous.
Do yourselves a favor if you can. If the possibility is, turn your TVs into a 60 megahertz instead of the 120, because the refreshing rate, your eye only sees so I think it's like 32 frames a second, and that's why theaters are. And so 60 is that sweet spot where it doesn't look fake. You go to 120, it's too fast for us to comprehend, and it looks very fake, very anti-cinematic, and so if you have that capabilities, you do that to your TVs. But Let's
now we know where all the super chats are going. Marco's
I have the TV that I can split.
It went to go in and put him through tech school.
Yeah. Gordon, there was this sale on aquarium plants. Again, they
were everywhere.
How many millions was the moth out of this budget?
Here's $20. Go get me some plastic trees from the dollar store.
We couldn't see the Wookiee fight the master, but damn it,
it just it felt so it felt so with that moth so quick, right? That you have all these other chrysalises surrounding these trees, and you expect, you hit one and the rest are going to come out or something, and nothing happened. That's
why only touched one again. Life. It was kind of like a life lesson. It was art imitating art right there, or life imitating OSHA imitating. I'm telling you, that's exactly that.
They only
why
had
that was there.
Budget for 1 month.
Yeah. If it was executed right or not, but I'm telling that's the only reason I could see why that scene was there. That's it.
Yeah.
It was for her as a relationship that might come into play as the Jedi infiltrating her.
I like how deep you think. I just saw it as a dangerous fucking forest.
Yeah.
Well, that could be, hey, on the surface, that's exactly what it could be. But then there should have been no dialogue after that. There should have been no, like, she sitting and said nothing other than like, thanks, soul. You know what I mean?
I'm going to hit Sin City Villain right here. I'm going to hit this comment because he is 100% correct. The issues with Disney isn't changing canon. All of the inclusion, all of that is not an issue. The issue is the condescending comments from the creators, and we've been saying that for a long time as well. It's just it's not. Just shut up. Just shut up and promote your show. Just don't speak. Don't rile up the fans. Don't argue with people. Don't just get out there, promote.
Not doing
your shit.
any favors.
You're not helping. You're not helping the issue. Yeah, it's just that
as much as
even promote it, just put trailers out and I'm cool.
Yeah, like I said, as much as everybody in this world should have a voice on it, but they're using a platform to and that's where I think it's
the fight
on purpose, and it's like that purpose to rile up that fan base that that they're gonna say something, rather than putting a character. Like I said, I don't think it's deliberately like, haha, watch this. We're going to spend about $5 million to put Coyote Money just to sabotage our own show because we know the
Coyote Money costs $39.99, dude. There was no more spent on Coyote Money than $40.
Well, I'm just saying it's a waste of
energy. And it looked way more dickish now than it did back in 99 through 2005.
Look heavier too, huh?
Yeah, definitely had more. He definitely had more weight to it.
Yeah. So let's end this with Basil. Let's talk about Basil. I want to know what the problem is, Basil, man. Like
I told you.
You did? So it's just
it's annoying as hell, dude. He's annoying as hell. And there was a marketing ploy. Did you not notice this whole week was marketing around Basil? Look who's coming. Look who's coming. Did you not notice those little quick clips? And Basil, there was Basil marketing all over the place. And my pops, the first pop advertised was Basil.
Oh, you're getting a Basil pop?
I sure as hell am. It's already ordered, right? Doesn't mean I like them. I just got to get all the damn pops. But I mean, what are you doing? You're just trying to make a cute character, and he wasn't.
Well,
and it's like
also
telling you he's going to be the mascot.
I don't think he's coming back. I think this is it. I mean, I think
he
served his purpose. But
he'll be a mascot
it was almost
on Twitter soon. Yeah, that's what he's great. He's just a little marketing ploy.
But it was also kind of a comic relief, right? This show doesn't have a comic relief at all. Like there is no levity in this show whatsoever. The droid's not doing it. OSHA's relationship with it's very, very. It's just not there. Like there's no, it's just like boom, boom. Soul's continuously serious. The Vernon and Esther's serious. Like everybody's so serious in this. I felt like Basil was this levity in the show that it was kind of funny. But at the same time, he wasn't funny. You know what I mean?
Rhino Hobbies thinks,
he
thought the Screaming Bieber was funny. I think hashtag too much Bieber finally in this show. So
yeah,
we'll get that.
I am ambivalent to Basil. It didn't. I just don't care. We had, I think, in our personal chat, Marco brought up the fact that we had a frog wearing a beret and smoking a pipe in A New Hope special edition.
Yeah.
You get stupid shit in Star Wars.
That's more annoying to me.
It's fine. I mean, of course, we didn't follow that, frog with the beret around for 30 minutes. But
also, how much did it cost to make Basil?
$180 million.
That's exactly. No, $179.99 million.
Yeah,
Basil was a dude in a costume.
Oh, it was even worse than it looked really bad.
It wasn't CG at all.
It wasn't. He was an actor.
It was CG and it had to have been CG enhanced.
Yeah, there's no way.
So?
Maybe
there was a dude in a costume.
Yeah, it was a dude in the costume because there was an actor.
There was a dude in a mocap suit.
No, it was a full-on practical.
It looked
effect,
like a costume except for the face. There was something about
face might have been
whenever it emoted, it wasn't a mask. It was there was something enhanced about it.
That's what it looked like shit.
Gordon, Gordon, I don't want to put it out there, Gordon. Okay, I will. This is the Gordon's hashtag stuff that beast. Okay.
Oh, Gordon. Oh, Gordon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, this was a hard week for me personally. It was a hard day.
You really had a hard night too, and I was going.
You know, and I'll tell you again, because I as like Scott, you know, I watched it. I walked over, I got a drink of water, and I went to the computer and started playing World of Warcraft. It just was put out of my head like, okay, cool. I'll wait till next week and we'll talk it over with the guy. And again, I didn't have the knowledge of Coyote Monday until Joey gave me the screen capture, and then I was like, oh crap. And then when Chris was hitting me up at 11:30 at night, like, dude, what did I miss? Like you came in like I
was pissed.
I woke up at 4:30 this morning, looked at my phone, and there were 78 messages between all of you guys. And by all of you guys, I mean Chris and Moocher. Between the two of you, there were 78 messages in there, and I'm like, I even had to text Chris on the side, like, "Are we cool? Like,
we're still friends, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. All right."
It's just because I wasn't seeing it, because I was getting frustrated that I wasn't seeing it. You know what I mean? I wasn't seeing it to the point where it was that where I felt it was arms in the air, like we're done. Like this is the nail in the coffin. And I'm sitting there going, if this is the ledge or the hill that everybody's dying on to put that nail in Star Wars coffin, I'm like, that's very low. That's low balling things. Like, I mean,
no, you're not on the surface. It's low.
Yeah, like I said, that's where I was getting like, I'm not seeing it, or I'm not having that reaction to it.
You guys were doing the They Live fight, and Chris was Rowdy Piper trying to put the glasses on.
Yeah, put the glasses on.
He wasn't having it at all.
Great point, dude. Oh, I'm gonna go watch that movie now. But
I was hot last night.
Later, man.
I worked it out. I watched it a lot.
You did.
I was off today, and I pretty much had it on loop because
I
don't want to hate Star Wars stuff, dude. I don't. I want to love it. Yeah. I want to be happy. I want to watch it all the time. Blah blah. So I keep watching it, just like it's still annoying.
Well,
still annoying. I think, but it helps you put the story together, and I'm okay. Again, I'm okay with the story going the way it is. I'm okay with Jedi hiding this. I'm okay with the Coyote Monday not knowing about the Sith, and it doesn't affect later in Phantom Menace. That's everybody's beef right now, and I don't think that's a worry. You know, it's the pronoun thing doesn't bother me. I didn't even take it as that way. I would have said probably the same thing if I saw an animal. What is that? I would have said it. You know, I said he, it.
Yeah,
right. It was a he after that the whole time. That doesn't, nothing like that bothers me.
It was,
but like I said, and usually I defend it. It's just that just felt like a lack of care to the fans.
I get you, man. Like,
you know,
here's the thing too. Like, and I think I put this in the chat, and I think I said this yesterday. I'll never try to like force anybody to be like, no, you have to like everything they do, and we have to do. No, that's not the point. Even here, we don't do that. You know what I mean? So, it's always good to talk it out. Like, okay, so
it's weird when we're that far apart.
Oh yeah, I mean, you and I are not very. We do see eye and eye on a lot of things. Like I said, that's where I was like, I don't know what I should be doing here. Should I go over there and hold him,
give him a hug,
or something? Because he was like, you know, because I will. Genobi says, when it showed on TV last night, 589 Funko Pop voices cried in horror in my room. Spent all night reassuring them. And you know, and I feel like I hate that that's even a thing in our group, even in our group or fan, because I take our community that we've grown here in Starlight Digest and everything as people who talk it out, or we're very, like, say, constructive criticism, or just talk about we talk through our problems. We don't go on and start fires.
Hate.
Yeah, we don't go out there and start forest fires that go get out of control. I don't think any of us do that. And but again, where it's like we're all here for it, and we're here for the next week. I mean, we're here again next week to do it all over again. You know, and like I said, at the end of that 8th episode, if our concerns are not met, like as far as like, because again, we don't have
and you know what you do if our concerns, if our concerns aren't met, you start getting in line for Skeleton Crew.
Yep.
That, you know what? And here's the thing. We're not talking about story. It's a story. I'd rather have a horrible story rather than lore breaking stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want a horrible story to give us lore breaking stuff where now like we're going like what's because now that's scary. Like Chris said, it kind of put in perspective me on the cow eating money thing. It's like, okay, look, at first I'm like, all right, cool. They used them as long as that whole Sith thing, but it's like if they could just take that and just throw it in there, fan service or not, or whatever they're doing, and they're being that ignorant of the fact that he should not be alive right now, according to EU or let's say close to canon, I guess, whatever that thing when it was made, then we got a problem,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we got a problem.
Gordon, you guys literally take the highest possible road you can until the end. Yes,
I mean,
we do.
Because like I said, otherwise, what are we doing, right? Like, otherwise, what do we do? Yeah. There's no point to doing a show. There's no point of
we all learn the high ground is the way to go. So
yeah.
And I mean,
at the same time, we're not trying to force you all to like this and love this, because as you can see, we don't all love it either. But at the same time, if we are enjoying something, and I was facing a lot of this online this week, don't come at me saying I'm an idiot for liking this shit, right? Because, hey, guess what? We all have differing opinions. Yeah. Everyone in this room has differing opinions.
Love the Hobbit. I love the pod race. And I'm
and the Andor funeral march.
And I think the Andor Fight the Empire was perfect.
Fight that.
So
it's fighting stupid.
Whoa. Okay.
See, it doesn't sound right.
I had an idea, and maybe we'll do this too. It's like if they continue to not understand characters and stuff, we're gonna do this, chat. We're gonna buy the character encyclopedia for Star Wars, and we're gonna mail it off to Lucasfilm headquarters with a note inside that says, "Please study me."
It doesn't have his age in it.
No.
Oh, but
I was on the floor this morning.
Because I have mine over there too.
I put it there on the bottom row of that shelf, and I was sitting there going through everything. I'm like, F this.
I was even checking this one too.
I'm gonna fight these mofos.
Yeah. No one watches Artie. I guess. Hey, you know what? Maybe this is a point. Some people like Coldplay, and those people are wrong. I get you, man. All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here. Again, we're gonna do this again next week. We'll figure out. We'll find out what the Acolyte is doing. What the hell are we doing? Hopefully, it's not as volatile. But and we
you
get
think,
on.
You think by next week we'll figure it out? I don't.
No.
I really thought the lesbian witch
I thought that was it, right?
Like was the one. I thought that was the one that would do it. Not
and it wasn't. That's why I was like,
not a dickhead. The next week, I didn't think it.
Well, that's what I was like. If last week didn't break it, then why is this week breaking it? I just don't.
Yeah,
I'm almost possible. It's gonna. The next week's episode is gonna be a flashback that takes the whole episode.
Yeah, we're not getting to
the last 30 seconds when they get right into the battle.
Well, I don't think we're even going to get that. I think we're going to get that whole version of May's side of the flashback, because this is like it's going to be this thing that's going to go on in that climactic battle where everybody's going to die. So that'll be almost the point of wrap up. So we're going to get some exposition coming up. I mean, that's what I think.
For sure. And if not, well, they have to get away first. Right, because they have to get on the ship, and he'll tell her all about it.
I don't know if we're even going to get there. Like that's
it has to get Soul and Osha together alone, and then he'll tell her about it. Then we'll get the flashback. It might not be next week, man. We might just be in the fight and moving on until they connect again on their own. Then we'll get the flash. It might be, the flashback could be like the second to last episode.
Yeah, I'm also thinking too, like just food for thought before we get out. It's like, Darth Smiley making himself known to everybody. Is that on purpose to disappear and to take it back and like as a trickery? And they're all thinking Sith, but it's not Sith. You know what I mean? So it's not. It's like this. Is this a maneuver also, or a planned thing to make himself known at this point that the Jedi will escape, and then now it's going to cause this big pandemonium?
I think he thinks he's not going to let him get away.
Yeah,
I would think
he's there to kill them all.
The rest of the show could take place on this planet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Let me just say, everybody that's signing off, don't necessarily sign off whenever we start saying goodbye, because this usually goes on for another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, Gordon. Yeah. All right. Group hug and good show. Can we make it to episode 8? We have to make it to episode 8.
Yes, we can.
We got no choice.
And then Skeleton Crew.
Let me ask you something, Gordon.
So much, just
when you drive by a car accident, do you just keep going without looking? No, you slow down and you look all the way till you pass it. So yes, we're gonna be there till episode 8.
I usually get there and go, this is why I was stuck. Stupid motherfucker sitting here looking at this damn accident. There's nothing happening.
Exactly.
You don't say it though till you get.
I purposefully don't look because I don't want to give them the satisfaction. I'm like, I'm not looking.
Yeah. I'll show you.
The one.
That's right.
I ain't the one.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. Ernie, I'm just gonna throw it to you this time. I'm not even gonna say a word. So Ernie, kick us out.
There you go. That is awesome. Thank you, sir. Yes, we like to thank everybody in the pit tonight. Everybody new. Please remember, hit that thumbs up on your way out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you don't miss when we're on. Don't mess with us either. You don't want to do that. So you won't miss when we're on. Like Monday nights, we have different shows going on. The Starlight Digest Toy Box is on, or Beyond the Pit. You have a lot to also go catch up on as well, too, if you're new to us. We have great content here from toy reviews and special shows that we used to do. We'll have you covered until next Tuesday night when you decide to watch this again. And I guarantee it, even on social media, we have everything from TikTok with 1-minute reviews to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Chris can answer you there, and Instagram over there with Moocher. And me and Joe will be in the shadows laughing at everybody fight. And that's what we like to see on that. Yeah. If you like some 24/7 Star Wars talk, join our Starlight Digest Star Wars community on Facebook. And you can get into more talk and everything as well there. If you'd like to help out the show, become part of our Patreon, part of the Shadow Council. You get some special privileges over there as well, too. Or you can super chat, send us some stickers. The best thing that you can do for us, though, is hit the thumbs up and drop a comment if you're part of the replay crew and tell us your thoughts on the show as well. We'd like to thank tonight's sponsor, Tashi Station Emporium. Ooh. Go over and check out their YouTube channel and put in an order for all your figure stand needs or anything to soup up your collection. Ooh. Make your display look that much more better or help you out with your toy figure photography.
More better.
Yeah, Toy Station Emporium is the best over there. It's like I feel connected to the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Yes, Julie, we saw your Mary Poppins pick. Yes. Sin City, thank you so much for that $10 super chat. We appreciate you. I'm glad you found us too. Thank you. And man, just
absolutely that will go towards Marco's TV, and so you can adjust.
I gotta get that 60 hertz.
Yeah, get the right picture in there.
I saw a note. I think it was Sin City a minute ago. If you go up a second, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in your shit here, Ernie. But you know what? I'm liking the show, and I'm liking it more than it was up there. And I if you go up a little bit. Okay.
We're trying, man.
Sorry, more than Critical Drinker told me I would. Critical Drinker is one of the ones that I've seen super negative bash this thing, like really say that this was going to go bad. So I'm really glad to hear no one watches RD say that, because it feels like when you get Critical Drinker and Theory, they really get everybody wrong.
Oh yeah,
and they don't put any they don't give you any leeway to like it at all.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, we don't love it.
No,
I think we can all say that, right? We all have liked to varying degrees.
Yeah. But I'm reserved. Like I said, I'm putting a placeholder of a B on this show, but again, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. It's not that exciting either. But we're talking about it. We're in the era of the Acolyte, so that's
And that's the joy of being here with the Starlight Digest crew. As you can see, Chris and Moocher were fighting the whole time.
Well, yeah,
you know. Bootleg Joe is busy with work and had to jump in to make sure he got his point across as well too. Like we said it. We all have different opinions and everything like that. Drop your comments in the chat and everything like that. Just don't get crazy with it. It is your opinion and you can do whatever you'd like with the show. But the influence that social media has on people nowadays is half these people you see really don't even know the real story behind it. So go ahead and throw your opinion wherever it is. Like we said, you can come over on Facebook and talk about it. You can talk about it here in the chat, but we're just as different as you. I didn't want to watch. I'm full Star Wars. I didn't want to watch any of that stupid cartoon. I made Scott do it. And then we all listened to him. I mean, so don't think we're all pro everything. As you can see, we're not. It's
Right.
Star Wars. It's our love. It's our passion. And you should feel the same way. Don't let somebody else guide you in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
If you feel a certain way, then that's how it goes. If you're not liking it, you're not liking it. But you know what? You can turn it off, join us here for the chat, and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. It's very
well
true.
said. Well said. I agree with
and that's what we like to spread around here. So, thanks for being here. Tell your friends about us, and then we'll see you next week on another episode.
All right.
Right
Well,
on.
that was a lot of fun, guys. So with that, thank you again. Just another grateful thanks for everybody in Pit. With that, Scott,
Keep it nerdy, everybody.
and just kidding.
Oh,
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.